So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the hips. And I think one of the biggest mistakes I tend to see with students are the ones that are trying to consciously open up the hips coming in towards the downswing position. So if you are somebody who gets quite stuck, which means that you are encroaching the space between yourself and the ball, coming in towards this impact, or when you hit the golf ball, you notice the way your hips are more parallel towards your target line, then this is very fundamentally the wrong approach to we want to be having towards the obviously the hitting zone. But I don't think you're going to resolve this problem by independently just trying to randomly rotate the hips. I don't see it, right? What I get success with is a couple of things, and it's the relationship being built between the lead arm and the chest. So if you can work on a backswing position where you really start to get more of a sensation that you're lifting your left arm up to your chest in the backswing, okay, similar to what I'm demonstrating with this drill, so that I'm using my right hand to lift it up across my chest. And then as I start the downswing, if I focus much more on what my chest is doing, so see, as I start this downswing, the way my chest is moving down towards my left side, okay, like so, look, watch this, see the way my chest moves, that moves my shoulder, and then as I swing through, my chest continues to rotate through. If you can focus on your chest moving, your hips are going to start moving. And I just think for most amateurs, it's a much safer way to start thinking about the golf swing as opposed to trying to separate and independently move your lower body. I just think you're going to get the angles all wrong. You're going to get the upper body left behind. And although we do see some pros with the head back, again, I just think it's a safer place to not try to emulate that and to try and keep the sort of trunk of your movement or moving through together. I think if you can start getting your chest moving more through the ball, you'll start to notice the way that your hips should be moving very much through the ball as well. So a couple of drills to give you the good sensation for this. I think the first one is a bit of a split handle drill, right? And the idea is that if you position your hands as I'm demonstrating here, about shoulder width apart, right hand facing up, left hand facing down. And if I swing back here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my right hand to keep my left arm elevated in the air just momentarily. And what you should do is you should notice the way that if you move your chest correctly, you should feel the way that club immediately wants to come downward. See what I'm doing here? So the club wants to come down, and that's because if my chest moves, so if my chest rotates, my left shoulder moves, and if my left shoulder moves, my hand moves, and if my hand moves, the club starts to move. So I'm consciously at this moment in time trying to keep my right hand elevated, but obviously I can't because of my body movement. And what that will do is that, again, like I keep saying to you, that will give you that synchronization between your left arm and your chest, and that's something that I would say most amateur golfers don't do. Try and do things like shallow in the club, try to turn the hips instead of build that left arm up to your chest and then use your chest to guide that left arm. And then as you swing through, you'll start to notice the way that your hips will open. And this is the other reason why I do a lot with rope trainers. And I suggest for you guys, a rope trainer and a rope swing is a really good way to practice. If I sort of bring this rope trainer up to my chest here, and then see the way I'm genuinely using my chest to guide the rope trainer through towards the target. And you can just hear that sort of effortless speed. And then when I hit shots, of course, my hips are going to be open, right? My hips are going to be open for a couple of reasons. One, because I've got a good backswing where I've rotated the pelvis correctly. And two, because as I start my downswing with my chest, you're not going to be able to turn your chest without your pelvis moving. Right, your pelvis is going to respond very much to that movement, and I just think it's a really good way for you guys to practice. So next time you go and hit some balls, start thinking more about that chest, more about that relationship of your left arm to the chest. It'll make a big difference. I'll see you soon.